our next talk will be in English again. And it'll cover the mysterium of... Actually, it sounds quite mysterious. And I just learned we're going to talk about Internet of Things. So there we are again. We've been there like basically all morning. Things talking to each other in a smart way. And we're going to learn something about how to improve sleep health thanks to Internet of Things and why this might be and should be the future. Welcome on stage, Cameron from Sewell. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. If you are still eating, feel free to eat here. And I promise that this will not put you to sleep. It's about sleep, but it will not put you to sleep. As a matter of fact, this presentation is just as much about energy as it is about sleep. My name is Cameron Postelwait. I've been working for Sewell for about 11 years, and I'm the marketing director, but we are kind of small company. We're about 50 people, so my job is also product development. I manage the manager of the product development team, and so I also manage the contract manufacturing, the ideation, quality control, and also the marketing. So I have to do very many things. This is a very simple presentation, but I hope it's very interesting to you. We'll just cover 6 things. We'll cover the story of this thing called drift light. We'll cover circadian rhythm. If circadian rhythm isn't something you've ever heard of, this should be very interesting to you. So the first story I want to talk to you about is my boss, his daughter, had a hard time falling asleep at night when it was dark, because she got in bed, turned off the lights, and from light to dark, it's too fast, and she could not fall asleep. So she would keep the light on and read. The thing is my boss would have to remember to sneak back into the room 2 hours later to turn off the lights after she had fallen asleep. Many times that would wake her up. And so he started thinking about maybe a very simple solution, a light bulb that could dim very slowly, so slowly that his daughter would not notice, but that she would become tired over time. At this time, we had no idea about circadian rhythm. We just wanted to make a product for our boss's daughter. That's her. She's very cute. Okay, so we chose LED lights. And of course, there's many reasons why everyone's moving to LED. 80 lumens per watt compared to candles, a third of a lumen per watt, or compared to CFL, 60 lumen per watt. LED is the most efficacious. And as a side note, efficacious is the correct word, not efficiency when you talk about light lumens per watts, just so you know. So this product was not connected. And we just wanted to make a very simple solution. There's good things about not being connected, and there's bad things about not being connected. It still works when the internet is down. That's nice. And light switches are actually kind of neat. I still like to use light switches. It is very gratifying to touch a light switch and hear the click. And it is very gratifying for the light to come on at the exact moment you use the light switch. But then we have the bad old world of analog, which is very limited. So this product that we developed, we have a trademarked thing called N-click, which basically you use a normal light switch with different clicking patterns to enact smart features on your smart bulb without any need of the internet. So 1 click is just normal operation. Click on, light turns on. Click off, light turns off. 2 clicks, or in other words, click on, off, that activates midnight mode. There's a little chip inside the light bulb that can sense what's going on. So with midnight mode, we decided, average sunset is 37 minutes. So let's make this light dim over 37 minutes. Moonlight mode is very similar. The only difference is that it dims down to 20 lux. 20 lux is kind of like a night light. And this is very popular for nursing mothers, for people that like to go to the bathroom a lot at night. They don't stumble around too much. And it's really good for children as well if they need to get out of bed for any reason. It's kind of a safety feature. So this 37 minutes thing, I admit, I'm a marketing guy, and I admit it's a gimmick. 37 minutes is not a magical number for falling asleep or feeling tired. It's something that we thought was a good marketing trick. But the long answer is that, yes, this is still relevant because it's all about sleep hygiene. It's not really about just light. It's about your routine and your human behavior. And that is why the Internet of Things is so important for this, because anything that is not Internet of Things requires a human to remember to turn it on, turn it off. Who owns a Philips Hue? Anybody? If you don't download a special macro, you have to pull out your phone and then activate your light that way. Or maybe you don't know where your phone is. You know, it's very inconvenient. Maybe the Wi-Fi is down, it doesn't work. So it's all about automation. Now, I'm going to try to do circadian rhythm really fast. This clock isn't telling me anything, so I hope someone will tell me if I'm running out of time. But circadian rhythm in 60 seconds. Who here knows what circadian rhythm is? OK, I'm so glad nobody does. So in our eyes, we have something called ganglion receptors. This has nothing to do with rods and cones, OK? Rods and cones help us see things. Ganglion receptors actually only detect color temperature and sends the data to the brain. A very interesting fact is even people that are born blind oftentimes still have ganglion receptors that still function. And so even people that are blind can be affected by color temperature of light. Thank you. And so once the color temperature enters the ganglion receptor, the brain sends signals to produce many hormones. I think the most popular hormone is melatonin. We've all heard of melatonin, right? Melatonin is the thing that manages our sleep, but it's much bigger than this. Melatonin is also appetite and mood and even just the lifespan. And they're finding out just in the last couple of years that melatonin production has something to do with cancer. That a healthy melatonin schedule can reduce your chances of cancer. So as humans, we evolved along with the sun for millions of years. And the sun, as you know, when the sun is high up in the sky, the color is more or less blue outside. When the sun is setting, the color outside is more or less red. And so this has been happening for millions of years, not just for humans, but for all animals. And so we have developed a system to follow the sun's pattern. But in the last 100 years, as you know, artificial light has destroyed everything. To make it even worse, in the last 15 years, devices, TVs, tablets, computers, make it way worse. TVs, devices, and those things, they emit more blue light than any other spectrum of light. So, there are 3 things that you must know about lighting and about sleep health. And when I say sleep health, I really mean melatonin production, circadian rhythm, and your internal clock. So the 3 things are brightness. So how bright is the light you're subjected to during the day? If you're subjected to a lot of bright light during the day, you get a lot of energy. If you are subjected to a lot of bright light at night, you get a lot of energy, and it can throw off your schedule. Also, duration of exposure. If you're exposed to the light for a long time, it'll affect your circadian rhythm more deeply than maybe just say half an hour. Scientists believe that around 2 to 3 hours is enough for the light to completely affect your circadian rhythm. And of course, color temperature. That is one of the most popular subjects right now in the news over the last few years. Many people focus on the color temperature aspect of circadian rhythm. And so the thing you should know is that all spectrum of color will affect your circadian rhythm. But it is the 480 nanometer range, which is in the blue, that will affect it maybe 8 times more than other parts of the spectrum. And so there are many devices out there that are attempting to remove blue from your devices. I wonder, can you also show the link? I asked them last minute to put this link up, so. OK, so recently we developed, we're not just a light bulb company, we also develop HDMI products. And so recently we developed this box called the Drift TV. We launched this just a few months ago. And this is removing the spectrum of blue from your TV as you watch it. So maybe if you have a habit of watching TV at night before you go to bed, you probably find that you turn off the TV and then you have a hard time falling asleep. It is because your TV actually emits a lot of blue light. Okay? Drift TV will remove the blue light slowly, just like Drift TV will as well. And so you can read about that if you Google it online. If we go back to the presentation, thank you very much. Okay, so here's the question. We have the tools, right? We have things that can remove blue light. But if we give a caveman a toothbrush, does that mean he will have good teeth hygiene automatically? No. Even if we teach that caveman, he will probably not use a toothbrush very well, okay? Really, automation is the best hygiene. So this is our next project, Drift version 2. Drift version 2 will retain the same functions, so you do not need Wi-Fi if you still want to use the n-click function. It will be programmable by zone. So let's say you have a brother who is a shift worker and has an opposite schedule than you. He can program it to give him different color temperatures during the day that will match his schedule. And then you can have the natural schedule in your room. So it modulates the color temperature during the day to match the sun. So it's like bringing the sun inside your house. It helps you become more attuned to the natural cycle. Also modulates brightness. Side benefit, you can save a lot of money by programming it kind of like your Nest. You can program it to not output very many lumens during certain parts of the day because you have many rooms with big windows. You don't need a bright light during much part of the day. So when you click on that light switch, it will already be dim. If you have a smart light, you probably know that turning off the light and then turning it back on, all of the settings might be forgotten. So with this light, there is a bridge that will keep it on schedule. And as I said, scheduling, updating RTC. This is one of the big challenges, I think, with Internet of Things and automation. There are many companies out there, many of which are our competitors, who have many products that do many fun things and are easy to sell on the internet because, I mean, we all want to have a light that turns green when we push a button. We want to invite our friends for a dinner party and show off our smart light, but then on the next day, we forget about it and we don't use it. So scheduling and automation is key for Internet of Things in the future. And for us in the light bulb world, we need to have RTC, real-time clocks, built in to the light bulb so that when the Wi-Fi goes down or when you turn off the light switch, the light bulb does not forget the settings. It stays automatic no matter what your behavior is, no matter what the conditions are, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the Wi-Fi is, your system should still work. Of course, remote control, it's connected to the internet. You can control it from anywhere. And usage reporting is important, in terms of how much money, watts you're using. And again, I can't stress enough, complete automation is the key. I'm sorry, I used to have a link on this, but the link was incorrect, and I did not have time to find the right link. But we do have a sleep hygiene quiz. And again, it's not all about light. It's about our behavior. And the Internet of Things is a way to automate things so that we do not have to go out of our way to adopt these things. However, Internet of Things will not solve everything. So please come to me after this, and I will give you my card, and then you can go take the sleep hygiene quiz, because there's a lot to do with sleep in the last 3 hours of your day that you might not know about. And that's it. That's a very simple thing. Again, that's my email, and I would love to talk to you after this about any questions you have, but I think we have about 2 minutes if anyone has any questions now.
I have a microphone. Anyone wants to ask a question? So you're all sleeping well? There's a question over there.
I have a question about the connectivity of the light bulb. Is it connected via Wi-Fi or via power LAN?
Yes, so thank you for asking, because I forgot about this part. I showed you the Drift TV, that box. that is for HDMI. Our plan is to build in a ZigBee chip and a Wi-Fi chip so that you can connect to the Drift TV using phone, internet, or whatever, set your schedule once, and then the Drift TV will act like a bridge and communicate to all of your light bulbs using ZigBee. I think that 60 zones is possible. So if you have 60 rooms in your house or in a campus, then you only need one Drift and 60 light bulbs. Or more light bulbs, but up to 60 zones. Does that answer your question? So it's Wi-Fi from the user to the bridge, and from the bridge to the light bulb, it is ZigBee.
What's in there?
Any other questions?
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Cameron.